In this optional part 2 video, we will install the second virtual machine with Microsoft Server 2012 R2 Data Center, getting ready to initiate Active Directory. Alright, so this is an optional video here, just walking you through the process of creating the second domain controller. Now, I've explained everything that I'm doing here in the first video, but I'm just going to walk through creating the second domain controller. So I'll choose, I bring up the new virtual wizard, I'll choose next, I give it a name, I'm going to give it MIMDC0002-win 2012 R2. That's going to be the name of my server. Notice the name of my first server was 0001. I choose next. I can use a generation 2 because this is a 64-bit server 2012. Next, I'm going to go ahead and give it 4 gigs of memory. I am not going to use the dynamic memory on this because I have ample memory to statically allocate 4 gigs directly to this server. So when this server's running, it's going to be using 4 of the 64 gigs that is available. On the connection, I'm going to choose that external switch and share that with this server as well. I'm going to decrease from 127 gigs down to 60 gigs. Again, this is a lab environment, and I'm going to choose where my install files are. Now, I went ahead and moved the install files off of C onto my other solid state array, just to see if maybe I can get a little faster performance as I install. So I've got that install file. I'll choose next and then finish. Now it's going to go ahead and create that virtual machine. Here it is right here. I'm going to highlight it and I'm going to connect. That's going to open up a window just as if I was right on the server. The media has been associated. There is the media. I'm not going to eject it. I am going to start the server and quickly, as soon as it starts here, hit any key to start the installation. So it'll go ahead and, as if it was a physical drive, go ahead and get that ISO from the DVD and start installing the file. Here we are. I'm going to choose next because those are the defaults and install now. Now at this point, I'm going to need to give it a license key. So I'll again pause while I put the license key in, then I'll choose next once I get past this screen. So I'll be right back. So at this point, I'm going to go ahead and do a server with a GUI. In a subsequent video later on after this series, I will do a server core just so we can have a core installation of Active Directory running and see how we do that. So we'll go ahead and configure. There's my 60 gig drive. I'll choose next. That's where I'm going to install the operating system to. It's going to go ahead and copy those files from that E drive that quick out and get the files ready for install. So I'll go ahead and pause while it goes through here. It'll do a restart after this, and then we'll need to give it an administrative password. So it might restart a couple times for you. Just be patient. This is pretty quick on my machine because I've got solid state and I've got a ton of memory associated. It will work efficiently on an i7 processor with a couple gigs of RAM on each if you'd like. It'll work in that dynamic. So I'll be right back. So as you can see, the server's restarted. I need to give it a nice complex password. If you watched the previous video, let's see if I can get this password correct twice so we can go through. I'll click finish. Now, servers are pretty easy to do. I will give you a video on how to install Windows 10, Windows 8.1, and Windows 7, because on the 7 machine, we're going to need to use a Generation 1 virtual machine, as 7 is not supported on a Generation 2. So, as you can see, it's finalizing the settings. That's going to bring me up to the login screen. I'll click Control-Alt-Delete, and this machine will be ready to go. Again, don't forget, at this point, make sure it can connect to the internet and install all the updates so the machine's ready to go for us to configure the role of Active Directory. Take care and let me know if you have questions.